Will the House come to order? Mr. Clerk?
Aloha and good afternoon. Today's invocation will be delivered by Representative Nicole E. Lowen. Will the members who wish to participate please rise?
Please be seated. First of all, happy Girls' Day, everybody. And second, we had some good advice from Speaker Psyche earlier this year. That one session gets to be a lot. Take some deep breaths. So I thought we'd just all take a few deep breaths. So all together, everyone. Inhale. Exhale. And one more time. Inhale. And exhale. And let's have a good session. Thank you.
Thank you, Representative Lowen. Item 1. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Ayu? Mr. Alcos?
Excuse.
Ms. Amato? Ms. Bellotti? Mr. Chun? Ms. Cochran? Mr. Evslin? Mr. Ganadin? Mr. Garcia? Mr. Garrett? Mr. Gates? Mr. Hashem? Mr. Hashimoto? Mr. Holt? Ms. Hussey Burdick? Ms. Ichiyama? Ms. Kahaloa? Ms. Capella? Mr. Kila? Ms. Kitagawa? Mr. Kobayashi? Mr. Kong? Ms. Lachika? Ms. Lamosao? Ms. Lowen? Ms. Martin? Ms. Martinez? Mr. Matayoshi?
Excuse.
Ms. Matsumoto? Mr. Mizuno? Ms. Morikawa? Ms. Nakamura? Mr. Nakashima? Mr. Nishimoto? Mr. Onishi? Ms. Peruso? Mr. Pirik? Ms. Poepoe? Mr. Quinlan? Mr. Psyche? Mr. Sayama? Ms. Souza? Mr. Takeyama? Ms. Takenouchi? Mr. Tam? Mr. Tarnas? Mr. Todd? Mr. Ward? Mr. Woodson? Mr. Yamashita? Mr. Speaker.
Present.
Mr. Speaker, 49 members are present, 2 are excused.
Thank you. Item 2, reading of the journal. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, may this matter be deferred.
So ordered. Item 3, Mr. Clerk, are there any messages from the governor?
Mr. Speaker, there are none.
Item 4, Mr. Clerk, are there any Senate communications?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, we are in receipt of communications transmitting the noted Senate bills, all having passed third reading in the Senate.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the Senate bills laying on the clerk's desk pass first reading by title.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
It has been moved and seconded that the Senate bills laying on the clerk's desk pass first reading by title. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Members, are there any introductions? Representative Hashimoto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. It's my pleasure to introduce 2 constituents and three international visitors who are visiting Hawaii to attend the 100-year celebration of Oroku Azajin Clubs, which was established in Hilo in 1923 by 7 families. There are only 2 Oroku clubs outside of Japan. One is in Honolulu and one is in Sao Paulo, which our international visitors are visiting from. Members are descendants of Okinawans from Oroku, Okinawa, and many Okinawans from that village started over 200 restaurants in Hawaii. Unfortunately, many of them are no longer in existence in Hawaii, but like Columbia Inn, American Cafe, Aloha Grill, Kaimuki Inn, and many, many more. So when I call your name, please stand. So it's Lincoln and Marta Takara, and Mayumi Teruyo Kishimoto. They're from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And then my 2 constituents are Cheryl Okuma and Clarence Uehara from Wailuku. So welcome to the House of Representatives. And I also need to introduce my office manager, Ren Fukada. Thanks for bringing them down.
Representative Quinlan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In the gallery today, we are once again graced with the presence of my constituent, Dr. Ye Nguyen, who is today accompanied by her daughter, Surya Tubacheski. Welcome again to your House of Representatives.
Members, any further introductions? All right, moving on to item 5. Reports of standing committees. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt standing committee reports numbers 9 through 5 through 946 as listed on pages 1 through 4, and that the accompanying House and Senate bills, as may be amended, pass second reading and be placed on the calendar for third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on SANCOM report 935? Next page, 936, 937, 938, 939. Next page, 940, 941, 942, 943. Next page, 944, 945, 946. Members, I'll be calling a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move to suspend the rules of the House in order to consider certain House bills for third reading by consent calendar.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any questions? We'll take a voice vote. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt standing committee reports numbers 947 through 993 as listed on pages 5 through 14, and that the accompanying House bills pass third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on SANCOM report 947? 948, 949, 950, 951. Next page. 952, Representative Perrick.
No, please.
So ordered. Moving on to 953, 954, 955, 956. Representative Lamasao.
Mr. Speaker, in strong support.
So ordered. Please proceed.
This measure was part of the Filipino Legislative Caucus package. This bill will establish an immigrant service and access unit within the Office of Community Services, whose purpose is to promote economic self-sufficiency, inclusion, and community integration for immigrants in our state. There are over 250,000 foreign-born persons in the state of Hawaii. Nearly half of all immigrants of Hawaii are from the Philippines, Japan, China, Korea, Micronesia, Vietnam, and Mexico. 57% of Hawaii's immigrants are naturalized U.S. citizens, and many have U.S.-born children. This immigrant service and access unit will improve OCS's capacity to increase and improve services to serve the immigrant community who face barriers to accessing government resources and are excluded from full participation in our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Perrick.
While I do, no.
So ordered. Proceed.
While I do support the immigration of everybody to Hawaii and our country, I don't support the expansion of our government or appropriating funds that could do that.
Representative Killa.
Mr. Speaker, in strong support.
So ordered. Proceed.
May I have the words of the representative? The Vice Chair of Economic Development entered into the journal as if they were my own.
So ordered. Representative Kahaloa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Same request.
So ordered. Representative Chan.
Thank you, Speaker. Support. Same request.
So ordered. Representative Lachika.
Mahalo, Mr. Speaker. Strong support and same request.
So ordered. Representative Martin.
Strong support. I just want to mention that yesterday I went to a graduation ceremony at the state hospital where some people got a certificate. They all care for our mentally ill in that institution, and they got a certificate advancing them through the Windward Community College. Every single one of those people was of Filipino descent. and they were previously immigrants, and they are the ones that are taking care of us and taking the hardest jobs. And I feel that least we can do is welcome them and get them started. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Ayu?
In support, and can I have the words of the speaker from Waipahu who entered into the journal of the Vermont, please?
So
Thank you.
ordered. Representative Souza?
In strong support, Mr. Speaker, and same request. Thank
So
you.
ordered. Representative Tam?
Same request.
So ordered. All right, members, we're going to move on to the next page. STANCOM Report 957, 958, 959, 960, 961. Next page, 962, 963, 964, 965. Next page, 966, 967, 968. Representative Pierrick?
In opposition.
So ordered. Proceed.
I do believe it's important to have housing available to people, but when we target one group of people, be it teachers or nurses, and give our taxes to support their housing, I don't think that's fair.
Representative Capella?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In strong support,
So ordered. Proceed.
In my district, I have teachers that live in tents because they can't afford housing. I also have teachers that have multiple master's degrees that are in their 30s and 40s, yet are sharing a one-bedroom apartment with 3 or 4 other teachers because they can't afford to live here in Hawaii. These are people who are working professionals that teach our kids, that teach the future of Hawaii, and yet they cannot afford to live here. So I think the least we can do is help with teacher housing.
Members, we're going to move on to 969, 970. Next page.
Speaker.
971. Oh, let's go back to 970. Representative Poi Poi?
Reservations.
So ordered. Representative Cochrane?
No for me, please.
So ordered. Representative Hussey Burdick?
Reservations.
So ordered. All right, moving on from 970 to 971, 972, 973, 974. Next page. 975, 976.
Speaker.
Representative Cochrane?
WR, please.
976. Representative Cochrane?
WR.
All right, moving on to 977, 978. Representative Pierrick?
No, please.
So ordered. Proceed.
I do support the homeless, and I believe that they should have resources available to them, but I think the nonprofits are better suited to serve them.
Representative Nakamura?
In support, Mr. Speaker.
So ordered. Proceed.
In order to address the homelessness problem in the state of Hawaii, we need to start building housing for people with mental illness, with substance abuse, people who are coming out of prison, men and women, kids who are aging out of foster care, people with intellectual, developmental, and physical disabilities, and our frail elderly. It's very difficult to build housing for people with very extremely low incomes, and that's what this bill attempts to do by addressing people with incomes of 30% and below area median income. It's the most difficult type of housing to be built, which is why it's very difficult for developers to even attempt to try to do this. So this bill tries to get capital funds to encourage developers to build this type of housing, whether it's a group home, a two-story walk-up that can be renovated, or even within a multi-story building, setting aside a floor or scattered rooms to serve people with disabilities. So this bill envisions a partnership with government, with nonprofit organizations and for-profit organizations that know how to develop the housing, working with our Hawaii Public Housing Authority that provides rental assistance because incomes are so low
they need a subsidy, and with nonprofit organizations who can provide the supportive services but know nothing about how to build housing. So this is a pilot program, and we ask for your support. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Holt.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, and strong support.
So ordered, proceed.
And I'd like to thank the Majority Leader and the Housing Chair for their work on this issue. You know, I have a lot of constituents who could be served by this. And in fact, yesterday, me and the Housing Chair went down to a facility which possibly would be perfect for this program. So I just want to give my thanks to the Housing Chair and the Majority Leader for doing the work and, you know, trying something new to help our most needy. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Souza.
In strong support, Mr. Speaker, please enter the words of the Majority Leader into the record as my own. Thank you.
So ordered. Representative Capella.
Same request.
So ordered. Representative Martin.
Same request, please.
So ordered. Representative Ganadin.
Same request.
So ordered. Members, we're going to move on to 779. Representative Pierick.
No, please.
So ordered. Next page, 980, 981, 982. Representative Ward.
Speaker, I rise in opposition with a brief comment.
Proceed.
Mr. Speaker, generally EVs solve problems, not create problems. This is one that says we are going to have your mileage as a basis of how much we're going to tax you. This is a new reconfiguration of what was the fuel tax, because EVs came in and the fuel tax didn't rise to the level. This is a way of solving that problem. The difficulty is instead of surcharging the EV, the Tesla drivers and others, this now is spread across everyone. And if you're old, if your car is old and it's driving a lot of mileage, like from the west side or farther away from that in North Shore, you're going to pay more. I think this is an unintended consequence. I think the solution is, it's very sexy, a lot of moving parts, but I don't think it's fair, and I don't think it's just and not a good policy. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Lowen.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, in support. And I just want to point out that the vast majority of reduction in fuel tax revenues comes from more energy efficient fossil fuel powered vehicles or hybrids and not from electric vehicles, which are still relatively small in numbers but rapidly growing.
Representative Todd.
Thank you. I just wanted to point out that I'm in support, and the bill is relatively narrowly tailored. It has an opt-in program, so 0 people have to actually opt in. It only applies to current EV owners. So it does not apply to the general population of people who have hybrids or trucks that get 5 miles to the gallon or 50 miles to the gallon. And in addition to that, we've capped the amount that they could potentially pay. So there's literally no disincentive from enrollment. The intention of this is actually to collect data, which could potentially inform our decisions going forward on whether this should apply to a broader class of vehicles or not. And I also wanted to point out that rural drivers who have to commute are already punished and are already pay a disproportionate amount of fuel taxes, which this would not really change that paradigm. They're already paying more as is. They're not going to be paying more as a result of this. In fact, if we charge on a per mile basis, the only people who would be disincentivized in the long run, if this does apply to everyone, would be EV owners and people who own very fuel efficient vehicles, which tends to reflect people who are doing a little bit better for themselves. So in the long run, if this does get implemented and shared across other vehicle classes, it would actually help those who have less fuel efficient vehicles, which has been one of the most common criticisms. So it is a little bit ironic that we've somehow mangled that into the opposite argument, but does not apply whatsoever. Thank you.
Representative Kobayashi.
Mr. Speaker, in support.
So ordered. Proceed.
The fuel gauge on the highway special fund is on low. The highway division came to the legislature 3 times within the last decade for increases in funding for the highways. They didn't get anything all 3 times. As a result of that, the highway division set aside construction projects that would increase the capacity of many of our roads. They concentrated on safety programs and other smaller projects. The Highway Division needs some help. This is just one plank of many options that could and should be considered to replenish the highway fund. Thank you.
Representative Keela.
Strong support. May I register the words of the transportation chair to the journal as if they were my own?
So ordered.
And may I add a brief comment?
Proceed.
In commuting over 20,000 miles last year alone, I paid $357 on gas tax. So in the hopes that this program would succeed in replacing the gas tax, removing that from our Hawaii households, putting a cap on low-income families and folks who are commuting from rural communities, this will put more money into the pockets of Hawaii families and the folks in District 44. So mahalo.
Thank you. Representative Ward.
Speaker, second time.
So ordered.
I just have a basic conceptual problem of treating my car and the people of Hawaii's car like it's a rental car, and how many miles you drive, we're going to charge you. I think the concept is misplaced. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Gates.
Mr. Speaker, in strong support.
So ordered. Proceed.
May I adopt the words of the transportation chair as if they were my own?
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Martin.
In strong support.
So ordered. Proceed.
As an electric car driver, I can't wait to start this program. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, members, we're going to move on to STANCOM Report 983, 984. Representative Ward.
Speaker, no vote also on this.
So ordered. Proceed.
And a brief comment that this is a turf war that we ourselves have created, and hopefully this bill will get us any deeper into it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Speaker.
Representative Cochran.
WR.
So ordered. Our members, we're going to go to the next page. 985. Representative Pierrick.
No, please.
So ordered. Moving to 986, 987, 988. Next page.
Oh.
Speaker.
Representative Lamasau.
At the appropriate time, can we go back to STANCO number 988?
Okay, let's go back to 988. Representative Lamasau.
Or we respond. Okay, with reservations. Thank you.
So ordered. Representative Ward.
Same request, please.
So ordered. Representative Ayu.
Reservation.
So ordered. Representative Keela.
Reservation.
So ordered. Representative Garcia.
Same request.
So ordered. All right, moving on to the next page. 989, 990, 991, 992, 993. Representative Morikawa for the vote.
Mr. Speaker, on the measures before us, all majority members vote aye with the exception of the following. On page 9, STANCOM report number 97. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's go back. On page 8, STANCOM report number 963, HB number 1366 HD1, Rep. Capella votes no. On page 9, STANCOM report number 970, HB number 670 HD2, the following vote no. Cochran, Capella, Perusto. On page 11, STANCOM report number 976, HB number 1121 HD1, Rep. Capella votes no. That's it. Thank you.
Representative Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the measures before us, all minority members vote aye with the exception of the following. On page 6, SCR 952, House Bill 261, House Draft 1, Reps. Garcia and Perrick vote no. On SCR 956, HB 439, House Draft 1, Rep. Perrick votes no. Page 7, SCR 958, HB 547, House Draft 1, Rep. Perrick votes no. Page 9, SCR 968, House Bill 497, House Draft 1, Rep. Perrick votes no. Page 11, SCR 978, House Bill 1397, House Draft 1, Rep. Perrick votes no. SCR 979, House Bill 1439, House Draft 2, Rep. Perrick votes no. Page 12, SCR 982, House Bill 1110, House Draft 2, Reps Garcia and Ward vote no. SCR 984, House Bill 1217, House Draft 2, Reps Garcia and Ward vote no. That's it.
Have all the votes been cast? Said House bills passed third reading. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move to adopt Standing Committee Reports number 994 through 1040 as listed on pages 15 through 24, and that the accompanying House bills pass third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussions on Standcom Report 994? 995. Representative Hussey Burdick.
Sorry, Mr. Speaker. At the appropriate time, can you go back to 994?
Let's finish 995. Any members on 995? All right. Going back to Standcom Report 994.
Reservations, please.
So ordered. Representative Pierrick.
On 994, no with a brief comment.
So ordered. Proceed.
This would slow down the harbor economy and could hurt Hawaii, so I'll be voting no.
All right, members, we're going to move on to 996. 997, next page. 998, 999, 1000, 1001, next page. 1002, 1003, 1004. Representative Gates.
Mr. Speaker, can I get a ruling on a potential conflict of interest?
State your conflict.
I do marketing and advertising work for clean energy technology.
No conflict. Ruling stands till sin die.
Thank you.
Thank you. Members, we're going to move on to 1005. Next page. 1006. 1007. 1008. 1009. 1010. Next page. 1011. 1012. 1013, 1014, 1015. Next page, 1016, 1017, 1018, 1019, 1020. Next page, 1021, 1022, 1023, 1024, 1025. Representative Pierrick.
No, please.
So ordered. Proceed.
While I support paid family leave, I don't support the government directing the private sector on how they should run their business.
Representative Garcia. All right, members, we're going to move on to the next page. 1026, 1027, 1028, 1029, 1030. Next page, 1031, 1032, 1033, 1034. Representative Souza.
With reservations, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
So ordered. Moving to 1035. Next page, 1036, 1037, 1038, 1039, 1040. Representative Morikawa for the vote.
Mr. Speaker, on the measures before us, all majority members vote aye with the exception of the following. On page 21, Standcom Report number 1025, HB number 491, HD2, Rep. Capella votes no. On page 24, Standcom Report number 1040, HB number 1233, HD2, the following reps vote no. Ayu, Holt, Kahaloa, Kila, Lamosao. Thank you.
Representative Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the measures before us, all minority members vote aye with the exception of the following. Page 15, SCR 994, House Bill 714, House Draft 1, Reps Garcia and Perrick vote no. Page 18, SCR 1009, House Bill 193, House Draft 1, Rep. Garcia votes no. Page 18, SCR 1010, House Bill 197, House Draft 1, Rep. Garcia votes no. Page 21, SCR 1025, House Bill 491, House Draft 2, Rep. Perrick votes no. Page 22, SCR 1026, House Bill 564, House Draft 1, Rep. Perrick votes no.
Have all votes been cast? Said House bills pass third reading. Item 6, third reading. Representative Nakamura.
Mr. Speaker, I move that the House bills listed on pages 25 through 28 pass third reading.
Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
Any discussion on HB 102, HB 985, HB 980, HB 983. Next page, HB 573, HB 1040, HB 264. Representative Ward.
I was looking at the STEM. Did 573 already get called?
It did. We can go back to
Okay.
it, but let's finish
Thank you, sir.
HB 264. All right, we're going to move back to HB 573. Representative Ward.
Thank you, Speaker. I rise in strong support.
So ordered. Proceed.
This is a bill that will save lives. It actually legalizes fentanyl test strips, so you know what it, in effect, if it's been laced with fentanyl. Fentanyl has killed probably 100,000 people in the last year or so. This bill is good. It'll save lives, and something that'll save even more lives is if we close the southern border where all of this fentanyl is coming in. Thank you, Speaker.
Thank you. Representative Bellotti.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, in strong support, and my dear colleague from Hawaii Kai would like to adopt the words as if they were my own.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Kahaloa.
In support.
So ordered. Proceed.
Brief comment. Just want to note that for the County of Hawaii, this is a really strong recommendation that they had for our community, especially from the federally accredited health center. So I really appreciate the introducer of this bill and believe we should all support it. Mahalo.
Thank you. Representative Mizuno.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. In support.
So ordered. Proceed.
Can I have the words of the good representative from Hawaii Kai placed in the journal as if they were my own?
So ordered.
Thank you.
Representative Ganadin.
Same request minus the discussion about closing the southern border of the United States. Thank you.
So ordered. Members, we're going to move back to our agenda on HB 364. Next page, HB 118, HB 726. Representative Tarnas.
In support.
So ordered. Proceed.
Thank you. This is one of many measures that this chamber has moved out in order to improve public trust and accountability of members of the legislature. And what this does is it prevents us, it prohibits elected officials from soliciting or accepting campaign contributions during any regular session or special session of the legislature. I think this will help to improve public trust in our institution, and it's time we do it. Thank you very much. I request everyone to support this measure. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Matsumoto.
In strong support.
So ordered. Proceed.
It's so encouraging that this body is passing out a bill that was recommended by the Commission to Improve Standards of Conduct. As I've said many times, this body and this building has lost the trust of the people of Hawaii, and this is one step forward to regaining that trust again, and I hope we do many more things this year in our legislative session. And permission to insert more comments into the journal.
So ordered.
Thank you.
Our members, we're going to move on to HB 724, HB 27, next page, HB 28. Representative Morikawa for the vote.
Mr. Speaker, on the measures before us, all majority members vote aye with the exception of the following. On page 26, HB number 264, Stancom report number 801, the following vote no. Capella Peruso. Thank you.
Representative Garcia.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. On the measures before us, all minority members vote aye.
Have all votes been cast? Said House bills pass third reading. Item 7, introductions of resolutions. Mr. Clerk, are there any resolutions for actions?
Mr. Speaker, there are no resolutions for action. May all others be referred to print.
So ordered. Item 8, members, are there any announcements? Representative Hashimoto.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'd like to wish our colleague here from District 19 a very, very happy birthday.
Any further announcements? All right, bear with me. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move to keep the journal open until 12 o'clock midnight for the purpose of receiving standing committee reports and House bills transmitted thereby.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. Representative Morikawa.
Mr. Speaker, I move that this House stand in recess until 9 o'clock a.m. Tuesday, March 7th.
Representative Garcia.
Mr. Speaker, I second the motion.
All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say no. The motion is carried. The House stands in recess until 9 a.m. Tuesday, March 7. Recess.